Look, it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. It's a great start for 1UP, and I'm sure they'll be ecstatic with the way it's gone. But look at this, very low communication coming out from these guys. They're talking much, it looks like it's quite reserved. And these are the operator picks now coming through for our first round on Consulate. The defense will be over to 1UP to begin with.
Pretty standard defensive pick for 1UP, nothing out of the ordinary. Enyx's attack, they're going to be running with the Ying. So they do have that potential, of course. Will be a garage defense for 1UP. They're not going to be bringing in a mirror window, so they don't have that same control. They also aren't going to pick up an Echo, which we have seen a lot as well. Enyx, you know, they have a pretty stable lineup. They have the Thermite to get rid of
garage doors.
The garage door. They have a sledge, not a buck, but they have a sledge. I was actually speaking to Blitz last night about, you know, why in the game against Horizon where you did win on Border, how come you weren't playing buck where generally they would take a buck for Border, but instead he was playing Ashe, and he said it was because of the buck bug. Yeah, the buck bug.
It's for those of you that don't know, buck has got this very slight. It's not exactly game breaking, but a lot for the high end players, it is causing a little bit of an issue. It's where you switch between your skeleton key back to your offensive weapon, you get a slight delay of being able to start shooting, and it causes a bit of an issue. So people feel a bit more comfortable running with sledge.
So this will be a top-down clear-out for Enyx, working their way. They know that there is going to be roamers, and Mops is going to run out, and he is actually going to win that gunfight. Madman was not ready for that, and Mop also gets it down and gets a kill!
What a start!
Man cannot be stopped today!
Madman, I mean, we talked about him having some struggles with his aim yesterday. That was an easy setup for him to take Mop on that very aggressive roam, and Mop comes away with 2. I have no idea how that happened, but Mop is a man who is of the moment at this point, and he's going to get his 3rd. That's 3K for Mop right now. Is he going for the clean ace? He certainly looks like he wants it. He's going to start to make an aggressive move back down towards the garage area now. But that is 3 kills to Mop's name already. What a way to begin your first round here on Consulate. By only 1 minute into the game, you single-handedly have wiped off 3 of Enyx, including their hard entry. So they've only got Sledge and Ying now. They can't get through garage doors.
Not looking too good for Enyx. You know, we have to be real here. They've lost their Habana, they've lost their Thermite. You know, we talk about why you would bring both, because in case one does die. This time both of them have died. They lost their Ashe as well. Yeah, they've also lost Madman. Yeah. It's going to be all down to Pro and Blitz to pull this out of the bag. Actually, I think it's going to be actually Havix and Blitz. Kembe is going to also be on the roam, has this trusty Ela where we talked about why was he not playing this Ela. The only option I can honestly see Enyx going for is going to be the back pitch, but Mop is going to get himself another kill. Can he go for this ace? Or will somebody steal it?
His ship team will definitely support him. Mop gets the ace!
He gets it!
Mop gets the ace! That is a 5K to Mop on the first round here in Consulate. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Single-handedly dismantled Enyx. Let's take a look at that. Madman, he just came out of drone. He literally just came. I think he just dropped. He was going into drone, cancelled it, but it was too slow, so maybe can't give too much over to him. He thought he was in a safe position, but the aggressive, risky tactic from Mop paid off, and he cleans up every single member by himself.
What a performance from this man. We've seen him do so much work on Clubhouse, and he is just repeating himself. He is on a riot. People say, watch out for Madman, watch out for Mop.
Team Enyx certainly need to shore that ship. What do they need to do here? What is their strategy? How do they make this a safe hold for them?
Well, the main thing that we did talk about that Enyx had problems with was a Blackbeard on the double window. Doesn't seem to be that 1UP are going to go down that route. Typically, we know 1UP are an admin take side. But anyway, Enyx are still going to put that castle barricade, still get ready for it. If they're going to prepare for this admin, whenever Havix was up with us, he was saying to us whenever it was the Consulate game between Horizon and Radix, he was saying that, you know, Radix or Horizon just gave up control of admin too early. This time, Enyx are definitely going to put pressure. They're now going to show us how you would hold this, you know, how to stop enemy teams just walking in by 2 minutes and having that beachhead all ready to go for the final push in the, 2 minutes. So we're going to have to see how 1UP do play the Blitz especially.
They've put some hard defense here on front office just to make sure they have some kind of ways to keep an eye on admin. Here comes the Blitz though, moving up through garage. Mop has been on, I mean, literally MVP so far for 1UP. Mop has been just fragging left, right, and center.
He is going to start creeping up this yellow stairs. Barbed wire is going to be in his way. It's going to be the sound trigger for Enyx, and the way that the Enyx members do have this mirror window set up and also the smoke, so they're going to try and hard counter Mop as the first blood is going to go in the way of Madman, as that will be Kiza, and also Habana out of the way. Mop is going to be just dancing around the smoke grenades at this stage.
Well, there's another angle opened up here, actually. This is a good solid start for Enyx. Greedy Willow on the Zephyr at the top, just looking for some kind of angle on the skylight. But they've lost their Habana already. Mop's doing a great job just trying to cover all these angles. He's going to move through here. Needs to make sure he doesn't give away too much, though. Tried to get in, couldn't quite.
Slowing down for 1UP at this stage. They have lost Kiza, they've lost their IGL. Also, Nigma does bite the dust. That's Madman on this Valkyrie. MPX gets another kill. Mop also taking heavy damage. That castle barricade is proven effective. As finally somebody does stop that man. It's going to be Mac as in Pro. Also gets himself a kill. Last man up is going to be Willow. Really strong defense from Enyx. They have perfectly countered Mop. Yeah,
they really stopped him out. And then I think I love those early smoke grenades used just to stop him pushing up those yellows there, like you said. I don't know what Willow can do here, but he's doing his best to try and find at least some frags, as he actually gets a kill with a Claymore there, I believe. Picks up Proyo, but again, with 55 seconds to go, it's a 1 versus 4. Willow has definitely been a solid performer, but not the kind of guy you'd expect to come out and clutch an entire round versus 4 people himself.
I'm very impressed with the defense that Enyx have went for. We know that they yesterday they did have that mirror windows up in the bathroom to defend that yellow stairs, but then the main issue that they did have was Nasher on the double window, which was just killing Mac whenever he was on the mirror. So having that castle barricade does also just stop that happening. So they've even improved their strat after watching it from yesterday, dealing with Horizon, of course. At this stage, Willow, he cannot do anything in this situation. He's been on the roof for at least 2 minutes, just hanging about. He's even on a drone for the last 10. I'm surprised he didn't do what Radix said, just stop playing and start talking about what we're going to do next.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a bit too tough for him with 5 seconds to go. I think he's kind of resigned to the fact that there's no way he's planting at this point. I think they also lost their diffuser off the side of the building as well when Kimbe went down. You can see it on the floor over there. So Enyx managed to stem the tide of that 1UP aggression that was coming out like crazy over those first 2 rounds, and suddenly things are looking maybe a bit surer for them. We said that before, though, when they managed to stop them on Clubhouse, but then 1UP came back swinging, so Enyx need to continue this trend.
This will be a top floor defense for 1UP. They will be picking up the Legion, and also the Valkyrie will come back into play. No Mira, which always puts me a bit of a worry whenever I don't see her being picked up, because she just is such a good operator for Consulate. She can completely defend the B bomb side and also can completely defend the admin side if you do have the right coverage on the break room window. Team Enyx are going to be rocking with the Sophia, also Habana, Ash, Sledge, and the Ying for the Candelas. So pretty standard from them. Once again, I believe they have substituted the Thermite this time, expecting this top floor. And I'd imagine Enyx are either more than likely going to go for the admin take, because that's what we're known for them going for.
Here we go. We can begin. 3 minutes. 1UP. Legion coming through, like you said. Ela over on Kimbe's side, you would imagine, just giving him that freedom to have the operator that he feels like he performs the best on here. Smoke for Kiza, pretty standard stuff, but you said you like without the mirror. Definitely a bit of a change-up from what you're used to seeing in terms of second floor defenses anyway. Zephyr as well coming through, a bit more and more. We're seeing more and more Zephyr coming through for both of these teams. What do you make of that? Because during the regular season, we weren't totally sure where she fit in.
We only really seen Sophia being... Whoa.
Blitz gets a kill onto Kimbe, so Kimbe down on the Ela already.
That's a Roamer is going to be down. Talking about Sophia, we only ever really seen her being substituted in for an Ash. This time they are going to be taking both. Again, it could be just because of the gun. We know certain people like to play operators just for the gun, even though their gadget may not be entirely good. So yeah, you bring the Sophia, it gives you the impact need holes, which actually are pretty useful in some circumstances. Every time I see Sophia being played, you start to appreciate she actually does bring a lot to the table, because she's very useful and very versatile in many situations.
Just that versatility gives you a bit more to work with, especially on that offensive play. And Sledge coming through for Enyx as well. Again, like we said, preferring that as they haven't yet managed to capitalize on anything more than that single Kimbe kill. Taking it slow, though, and they actually get one. Madman picks up Greedy Willow here, so suddenly Enyx coming alive, and specifically Madman needing to step up for his team, because both us, players, interviews, everybody said that Madman was the player that you need to keep an eye on. And on this Ashe, high movement speed, supposed to be a great fragger.
Havix has made his way in through the windows in towards B, but Keza with a very tight shot through that little sliver of the doorway did manage to land his target.
Oh, Blitz picks up a return though onto Mop. He's actually going to turn around, and Keza turns onto Mac on the outside. Proyo though has now forced it where he's now literally just Keza, and Enyx finally finding their form on Consulate here. 1UP have got to get back to those winning ways, but Enyx definitely don't want to go down without a fight. This is the grand final after all, and Enyx think they rightfully deserve that trophy.
Yeah, Enyx, they are still, you know, the team to beat for many people, as we've seen from the team interviews. Everybody feared this guy, but equally, you know, 1UP, they have been here for so long. They have been competing in so many different competitions. They, like we said, they've never really, you know, beaten Enyx. You know, the last couple of meetings, let's look at the EGX LAN, it was Enyx that beat them 5-2, 5-2. So you always have to take in consideration that, you know, this does mean a lot to 1UP if they do beat Enyx, especially on the grand final.
But Enyx want to make sure that they are the undisputed best team in the UK for the Xbox and Rainbow Six Premiership, and they've got to get 3 maps to do that now. This is where they're going to start their return. It's 2-1 to Enyx. 1UP now finally find themselves behind, which they haven't really been at this point in the grand final. Zofia again coming out for 1UP. We're going to see an Ashe. Going to see a Thermite, a Hibana, and a Sledge. Plenty of hard entry here, as well as that versatility of the Zofia. On defense, Valkyrie coming out for Enyx, as well as we're going to see Madman, I believe, on that Vigil. So finally seeing Madman potentially having a bit more roam ability here, and he'll hopefully get a couple of early kills and keep him back in that mood. He's going to open up those double windows just above the balcony.
Madman is a known Vigil player. The reason why we did see such an uprise in IQ picks, because everybody realized, hold on a minute, Vigil is actually a capable roamer, and in many circumstances does replace Ayla, who was one of the best roaming operators whenever she was released. Of course, she has been hit pretty hard by the nurse, and Vigil seems to be that replacement for a lot of people. The only person who we talked about still would still play the Ayla is Kimbe, and he still performs on it. Mop is looking to start swinging in through the bathroom. It just seems to be a standard top-down clear out for 1UP, trying to pinch from all different angles. You see multiple people on multiple different windows ready to go in and start clearing this out, but still, Vigil, he has not been killed yet.
Enyx seem to be slowing things down considerably, just trying to take a bit of a slower pace, especially on defense, not roaming too heavy. Just to make sure they don't make any silly errors. Like one silly error in this kind of situation can give you a massive disadvantage. A Madman holding an angle fast here, trying to make sort of use of the fact that he's not going to get spotted out.
Just waiting for somebody to walk down that spiral staircase, which is extremely likely, as possibly Kimbe might be looking to go down there, but they're still checking out the admin. It seems to be a bit of a slow room clear out, but nonetheless, they're getting the job done by half the round. So they need to start moving in the next 30 seconds. They need to get the Sledge into that piano area. If you want to win Consulate, you need to make sure you have control of that piano as an attacker. If you control that piano, you have so much access to that destructible flooring, of course, because it will come in shortly and get these hatches off. Opens up more ways into the bomb sites, as Negma is also going to open up the right-hand side of the garage.
Very, very slow-paced round. Probably one of the slowest-paced rounds that we've had so far, as Thermite finally finds an opening. That is actually Madman taken so low there. I think that was a duel with Sledge. And Madman forced to roam quite considerably. He actually just pops down there. I don't think Kizzer actually saw him, as he did drop down below some of that area that had been opened up. Madman got to be so careful now, though. Roam kind of restricted when you're such low HP, and that's going to be the first pickup for Kimbe. He gets blitzed. Wow, we are back and forth in terms of these performances here, and Kimbe gets the first frag of the game. Sledge is going to get down and get taken out, as that's Havix finally turning up and getting a kill for his team. 1-for-1 right now with 30 seconds to go. Smoke still on the table. This is probably a good situation for Enyx to find themselves in now, as that's going to be Hibana going down also. Not much time to work with here as Havix gets another kill. Nigma trades back. I think he misses it. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't quite clutch that one out, but did do a bit of damage in the meantime. Now wait, Kimbe and Nigma, they want to turn this around. They actually get the smoke down. That's really, really important as Kimbe moves through and Havix finally converts. 2 versus 2, but the defuser has been planted. Havix, what a monster. He cleans up. He cleans up.
Play.
And he just needs to deal with this defuser, which he will easily do so. He turned up yesterday, Demo. He turns up now. Ooh.
Big plays from the guy that's only made 6 droning mistakes as he does self-proclaim himself. Havix is a player which, you know, looking at the regular season, we never really seen him turn up with these big plays before until week 5. I would say as soon as we seen week 5 and it was the game versus them in Infamy, and I remember that border play, it was one of the strongest maps, and he just seemed to get better every week. Now he's finally, I think this is where Havix is starting to hit his peak as a player.
Yeah, hopefully not his peak. Hopefully there's more to come from Havix, because he is kind of proving that they don't need to rely on a single player. Like Madman, yeah, he's at 3 kills. He's doing fine.
That's what he said whenever he was up with us. You know, everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it. And well, everybody, you know, even Mac to an extent, he's probably been the quietest member of Enyx so far. But Madman, Proyo, Havix, Blitz, and Madman specifically, all of them have kind of taken that burden of needing to find those frags. Havix 5 kills now.
So
more than 1 kill around.
Wrong for Enyx. They have a chance to attack this downstairs once again. 1UP.
With a blitz. They're doing a blitz
they have
this
the
time.
blitz. They do have the Hibana, but they don't really have, you know, the hard breach off that Thermite. Possibly they would be expecting a top floor. It could have been the situation in this circumstance, but nonetheless, 1UP will be going downstairs. They do have the Hibana get hatches off, but no soft destructibility in a sledge or a buck. The only option that I can see Enyx trying to pull for is a quick drop down the circle desk hatch in the cafeteria. That'd be the only option I could imagine Enyx going for, because their lineup isn't suited for a complete garbage take, you know, getting off the walls, don't have the Thermite, and also don't have the soft destructibility to get rid of people inside white van. So that's the only option I see them going for in this circumstance.
It must be, because, you know, you don't run no hard destructibility and not have a plan in general. You can see they're all grouping up. I think you might be right. It might be a hatch drop coming out for Enyx in general. We'll see.
See if we're going to be a hatch drop or a full-on A take, and you know, we've seen A takes in yesterday's games, and they're just bad takes. You know, like I've never seen an A take work successfully. I say that Blitz is already going to be inside the A bombs that he can hold. That's going to play.
Oh, there he is. There's the flash.
C4 is going to get pelted out, but does not manage to get the kill. Just everybody's going to be in. Mac is going to go for the plant.
It's just a full A take. They've gone straight in here, and suddenly. They've
stopped it.
They've stopped it. They have stopped it. That's going to be the Hibana going down now. They've got the walls. They're trying to fire through. Everybody firing back. Kimbe gets one, but it's a return from Blitz as they get mopped. Greedy Willow picks up another. This is a very risky tactic that seems to have gone awry for Enyx. And 1UP now. Greedy Willow cleaning up. It's literally Blitz versus multiple members. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do here. He's got very little HP to work with. He moves forward, flashes forward, trying to get plenty of kills, but unfortunately not. That was risky. That was a very risky tactic in a very tense situation. I don't know if I liked it.
I've never seen an A-take work. We've seen it yesterday. Who was it? I forget who it was that tried it yesterday. I think it was Radix who tried to go for an A-take on 1UP. I've never seen it work, and I highly doubt I ever will see it work, because it's just not viable enough. You know, you're stuck in such a small room with just, you know, big, massive destructible walls that teams can't just spray through like we have just seen. You know, it was cheeky what they tried to do. It could have worked, but they didn't have enough collapses, especially they didn't get the drop hatch open, which was the main key that they needed to do.
Here we go. 1UP fighting their way back in, 3-2. Enyx were on track to potentially sweep this out and get a map under their belt, but 1UP have more to say about this. They're bringing a Blackbeard for the very first time, a Blackbeard and a Blitz combined with the Ying, the Thatcher, and the Thermite. Maybe they do what we saw Horizon doing, and that proved a massive issue for Enyx. Maybe they just go for that second floor double window take on the side of the consulate office.
But equally, the strategy that Enyx do have where they do cast off that big double barricade, so, you know, they've learned from their mistakes with dealing with Nasher. I believe 1UP are going to try and you know, sneak the Blackbeard in. They know that they're vulnerable from it, but the way that, you know, Enyx are setting up a counter strat for it, makes it so much better to see that, you know, teams are actually improving from their mistakes from yesterday.
They're definitely coming in all on from the west side, northwest side of the building. It looks like they could set up Blackbeard on that double windows. They're definitely putting a bit of pressure on holding that office side as well. They don't want to let people get in through admin too easily. Essentially trying to cover both angles. They don't want to get pincered. And Horizon were really good at pincering Enyx on the second floor of Consulate by having Blackbeard literally control one side and everybody else going through admin. And it's a 5 versus 4 already. Madman, he picks up Kimbe. That's a great pickup for Madman. Confidence must be going high, sky high for him as he escapes with the sliver of his life. Doesn't escape because the Claymore from Greedy Willow picks him up. 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, but that's the Blackbeard down now. So that stops it from happening before it even potentially gets there.
If you kill a main key operator 4 attacks to go through, then you have essentially done your job with the 1-for-1 trade. You know, if you take out a Thatcher or a Thermite, for example, yeah, you got a kill, but it wasn't, you know, a big impact, because then the operators that they still have at their disposal can, you know, still win the attackers around without having the Blackbeard. This is where 1UP have to completely switch their strategy. That's going to be Ying getting killed as Pro does get the kill from that jump out on the balcony. And that will be Enyx having this man advantage. Mop will be running up.
Oh, and he gets taken down.
Straight away, melted by Mac with that SMG-11 smoke grenade just to control it, slow it down, so Enyx can figure out what do they want to do next.
Fortunately, 1UP, I think, rushed this just a little bit as Blitz now taking down Enigma, and it's literally just Greedy Willow on this Thatcher versus the world. I don't know, we've seen too many 1v4s and they've never really worked out in the favor of the one. Almost from up on that Blitz, but he runs through the smoke grenade, tries to find another position. The angles are all but covered, you'd feel. Greedy Willow would have to pull out something incredibly special. But this is what the team needs, unfortunately not enough, and Proyo gets the kill, puts it up to 4-2. 1 point away here for Enyx, and they'll find themselves a map under their belt. Each taking each other's picks as well in terms of maps, if that's the case, and we'll reset and come down to a strict best of 3 if this is indeed going to be going over to Enyx.
Enyx looking a lot stronger on console. They look more confident. You know, they're going for these runouts. You know, Madman especially, he's feeling confident on the Valkyrie, and Valkyrie cameras are working for them. They want that intel. Again, it works for a map like console because it is more or less like a big square. So you have, you know, a camera that can look out towards the north and the east at the same time, and then also then the south and the west. So you're controlling every angle of the entire building. Upstairs is where 1UP will be headed. They are going to be bringing to the table Legion Vigil, also the Valkyrie Pulse and the Jaeger. So they do have the destructibility factor with the Pulse and the Valkyrie with C4s from below in the later stages of the round if they get to it.
1UP looking to slow the pace down with that Legion though, like you said. That's something that they really relied on yesterday. They really liked slowing the pace of these games down, making it difficult to plant with the correct placement of these Legion mines, or the goo bombs, whatever you like to call them. You've got the Valkyrie and the goo mines, one of the mix of all of them. And Pulse also, along with the Vigil and the Valkyrie, so plenty of control, bit of roam coming in from 1UP as well. Enyx kind of going with the tried and tested, and they've brought the IQ to the table here, so IQ should get a lot of value out, actually. Should get, you know, some value against Valkyrie, should get some value against Pulse, and also against Vigil. So as long as this IQ is played properly, all the information should be there for Enyx to potentially take this map.
Blitz is going to rappel to the roof. He is going to bring in that IQ for the counter pick. And you know, he's working really well here because everybody on the side of 1UP, all their gadgets are detectable with the IQ device. Legion, Vigil, Valkyrie cameras, you know, the cardiac scanner from Pulse as well. Let's not forget ADSs can also be seen. So the IQ pick is going to work in Enyx's favor. Kimbe is going to be taking an approach over towards the Visa side. That may be just to try and control the mid floor and go for some late rotates up the spiral stairs and then possibly just straight up through the Visa stair to get back on site. So he's, you know, he's versatile in that role. Has, you know, a lot of staircases. That's the thing about Consulate. You have a lot of staircases to work with as a roamer.
Very slow stuff coming up from Enyx. Don't want to give too much away. Really relying, I think, on IQ feeding the information about the safest routes to move through here. Doing as much droning as they can as well. And then finally, starting to begin their move into the house now, into the building. Pulse scanner comes through. He's starting to see a little bit of action as actually Greedy Willow picks up the first kill onto Blitz. That's a good start to the defense here for 1UP. Gonna get a trade straight away, and that's Mop going down. That's a big pickup for Enyx. That's a good member to take off the board. And it's also gonna be the Jaeger too.
Keza is going to be looking for this flank coming from that yellow stairs corridor. Does manage to pick up Madman, but then equally Pro is going to get the trade out, and Willow gets the trade out again on this Legion. He is performing well on this certain operator. Mac is going to go for the swinging at this stage. He is going to be completely uncontested, but still Pulse and Valkyrie up, so C4 from below could be potential as well.
And actually that is going to be Mop. Or Mac picking up Nigma here. That's a good kill versus 2 versus 2. Kiz is going to pop out a grenade, but he does manage to get the C4 down. He actually gets the wall kill. Gets the wall kill onto Mac. Big pickup for Kizza. A dependable, solid player. It's going to be Proyo versus Kizza for the map point here. 26 seconds to go, and Kizza has done it before. Proyo.
Waiting here, isn't he? Just back and forth.
Oh, he's seen him, and he gets the tap! He gets the tap, and Kizza keeps 1UP's hopes alive. 4-3. The man who is always solid, always dependable, the rock for this team, comes through when he's absolutely needed it. He clutched so many situations yesterday, and even if he didn't clutch them, he put them himself in a situation where he was potentially able to do it. And finally gets a big clutch to put them down to 4-3. Enyx working hard for this map point, but 1UP are not going to let it go. They get one more point, forces to overtime. This could go 2-0 in favor of 1UP if Enyx aren't careful.
The main thing that is letting Enyx down in this series is the lack of droning. You know, it's not the same droning that we experienced from Enyx, possibly due to the fact that Pranksy did leave the team, so he's not going to be here. Pranksy was that stable droner throughout the entirety of their Premiership campaign. Bringing Pro into the mix, he's not known for a droner. He's known for being a flex, which is exactly what he's doing when he's playing Sophia, and he's getting kills. So they're basically replacing a very controlled support player, very passive, to then bring in a very aggressive, who wants to get in your face up player. So looking at it, is it a better trade going for the control, or is it better going for the aggressive playstyle?
Doesn't seem to be working out too well for them just as of yet. Definitely want to see some more droning coming out. Havoc's claiming that he drones everybody. Really good at seeking out positions. Needs to make sure he's bringing that to the table here. Enyx need to make this defense happen. Otherwise, 1UP push it to overtime, and we are staring down a scary situation for Enyx. If they can convert this, though, they'll get the map. It'll be 5-3. We'll even things up, and we'll go to a strict best-of-3 to decide who takes this Premiership title away. The very first Rainbow Six Premiership for the Xbox UK scene. It's a big deal. Yeah,
again, it is the grudge match, it is the rivalry that both these teams live for. Enyx will be implementing this bathroom hold with these mirror windows, to try and stop the getting the bucket in. But even, 1UP don't even have the bucket at this stage. And just trying to control the top of the hatches as well. So, implementing it is going to have to make 1UP put these resources in. Possibly a couple of Candels may be used. Blitz may have to use his flashes as well as Mop is looking to push in and take these first fights, of course, with his Blitz. Madman, he tried to go for the banner trick, but then was caught out of position there, just being careful of that yellow stairs, which is why he cannot go for the banner trick on the triple. Quick push is actually going to convince Cadell's go in. Smoke does miss its target, as Mop is actually going to get flashed by his own teammate, as Pro does pick up one. Mop is still alive, he does flash. Mirren is going to try and push in, but just getting shot from every angle from these two members of Enyx. Go for the push in, doesn't get it, the one down. It's 5v2 as 1UP do take the deficit.
Well, that is big, and that was a massive risky move from Mop there. He knew that if he went in for the bash, he'd opened up that angle, and he did. He was just hoping to catch them off guard with the flash. There is a downed Thatcher, and Kimbe is only the one left alive on Blackbeard right now in what is essentially a 5 versus 2 situation, because I'm assuming they're going to res Legion and make this even more of a man disadvantage. He's droning, but I just don't know. Two of them are just downed in the corner right now. No one daring to res at this point because of the situation at hand.
Only one of them, there's actually one just actually alive, ready to kill.
Legion down, and Proyo's died as well.
Can't really do much in that situation, Kimbe. We've talked about it whenever you do go into them deficits where you're not trading out the kills. It's it's a momentous task for players, you know, to pull off these clutches. But at the same time, if somebody does it, it's the moments that everybody lives for.
Exactly, it's the moments that really define a team and define a player. And Kimbe is that player from 1UP who really stood out towards the end of the series yesterday. He was honestly not having the performance of his life in the first 2 maps, but suddenly came alive when they gave him that freedom to go onto the Ela. With just 27 seconds to go, this is going to be a tough ask of Kimbe. He's a man that can work very well. He opens through, immediately gets spotted out, loses that shield. I don't know if Kimbe can do anything here. It's too late to rotate at this point. He's going to have to rely totally on gun skill, trying to hold that angle, hoping they'll go aggressive. The C4 comes out to force them back, but Kimbe needs to make a move now. It's just too late. It is just too late, too little, and he's even going to get the He gets the tag, but it's more than he can hope for. Double tag comes through, but the time runs out, and Enyx will take Consulate.